Hello all, welcome back to our channel Complete Chemistry. Today we are going to see about reaction mechanisms in the organic chemistry. This is a very important topic of organic chemistry. Please don't miss it. We'll just see and complete this. Right? So what is reaction mechanism? Organic reaction mechanism is a detailed description of chemical reactions where transformation of reactant will be taking place to products, will turn to products in the presence of your intermediates. So this is defined as it's a transformation of reactant to product in the presence of intermediates. Now before going to this, how are these going on? How this reactant is turning to product in the presence of intermediate? How are these reactants formed? We'll be just seeing how these intermediates are formed, and then we'll go into these reactions. So how many types of intermediates you have? Generally, intermediates, like main important intermediates you have are your cations, anions, and your free radicals. Or you'll just say it as carbocation, carbanion, and free radical in case of your organic reactions. This is your carbocation because it's of carbon, so we call it as carbocation. This is called as your carbanion, and this free radicals will be just with a single electron with it, right? Now how are these formed? Formation of this will take place in two different fissions. There are two different fissions. Fission itself means breaking. Breaking of bond is called as your fission. Now there are two different types of fission, that is your heterolytic fission, and the second one is your homolytic fission. Right? What is heterolytic fission and what is homolytic fission? Hetero itself means differently cleaved. Hetero means difference. There is some difference in the cleavage. Lytic means breaking of bond. Right? And homo means same. Lytic means breaking of bond. What is same here? What is different here? We'll just go into this and then check it out. Now coming to your homolytic fission first. What is homolytic fission? Homolytic itself means it bond is cleaved in the same way. Let us take one single bond like carbon. What is the atomic number of carbon is 6, right? What is the valency of carbon? This is your atomic number, right? What is the valency of carbon? Valency of carbon is 4. How can you know that valency of carbon is 4? Because carbon configuration is 1s2, 2s2, and then comes to 2p2. Right? Now these are called as your valence electrons. How can you say that these are valence electrons? These are the outermost orbit electrons. So we call this as valence electrons. Now this is completely filled. So these electrons will not participate. Now carbon in the excited state. Carbon in the excited state, what happens here is, the coming to the configuration here, we'll just write it down here. It is 1s2 here, right? And then 3p orbitals will have each one 1, 2. This is your 2s2 and this is your 2p2. Now carbon in the excited state, what happens here? The electron in the 2s2 will be jumping from 2s2 to 2p. Then what happens? The configuration here will be, this is your 2s2 and this is your 2p, and the electron, only one electron will be here, one electron here, one electron here, and one electron here. So now this says there are 4 unpaired electrons. 4 unpaired electrons that are present in your excited state of carbon for the reaction to take place, right? So we say that valency of carbon is 4. Now coming to your homolytic fission. Carbon will itself means that carbon will form bond with 4 different atoms. Carbon will have 4 bonds, right? Now let us take a carbon-carbon bond. Okay. Now you take 2 electrons yes, two electrons that are present between your carbon and carbon. Even this will have all the bonds here, right? We are just concerned with these two electrons that are present, right? We'll just see what is happening with these two electrons that are present. Right, one electron from this carbon and the other electron from this carbon, right? Now, homolytic means cleaving of bond in between these two. This is your symbol of homolytic fission. This is called as half hooked arrow. This is called as half hooked arrow, which says about that it is cleaved into two equal halves. This electron is going with this carbon and this electron will be going with this carbon. Thereby, what will it form? What is this forming now? This carbon is forming one single radical with all the other bonds as usual, plus the bond with this carbon is with one electron here, right? Now these two are your free radicals that are formed. These two are your free radicals that are formed. So what we can say from this is free radicals are formed from homolytic fission. Free radicals are formed from homolytic fission by equally cleaving your single bond that is present between two carbons. There is equal sharing of two electrons that are present between two carbons, and the arrow that is called this here is half hooked arrow, which represents equal cleavage or equal distribution of electrons between two carbons, right? In this way your free radicals are formed. Now let us see your heterolytic fission. How is your heterolytic fission formed? Now coming to your heterolytic fission. Hetero itself means, as I said you, it is differently cleaved. And this heterolytic fission should have one electronegative atom in the reactant. Electronegative atom in the reactant. What will this electronegative atom will do? It will tend to attract shared pair of electrons, towards its side. It will tend to attract shared pair of electrons towards its side, right? So what does it do now? Let us take one carbon along with one electronegative atom. Okay. Now the electron here is of carbon and this is electron of your electronegative atom. Right? This is your carbon and this is your electronegative atom. And as usual, your carbon will have all the four bonds. These electronegative atoms, let this X can be your chlorine, fluorine, bromine, or any other electronegative atom, right? Yes. Now what does this do now? I said this is cleaved differently. This itself means that the two electrons that are present, the electron present here will also get attracted towards your electronegative atom. Thereby bond is completely cleaved and even this electron gets shift on towards your electronegative atom. What it forms then? So this forms because this carbon is losing its electron. This carbon is losing its electron. This will get a positive charge. Positive charge is formed by losing electrons. Positive charge is formed by losing electron, and whereas this electronegative atom is gaining an extra electron along with its electron, one extra electron is coming towards its side, right? So what happens here? Your X will attain a negative charge. This negative charge is by gaining electrons. By gaining electrons, right? So cations and anions are formed by heterolytic fission. Cations and anions are formed by heterolytic fission. In this way, we can say that your intermediates like free radicals, cations and anions are formed. Right? Now sometimes you have in this way also, like your carbon along with your carbon, and then you have your electronegative atom, right? Now there is a tendency here, more tendency of breaking this bond and less tendency to this bond. There will be more tendency of these electrons to get attracted by your electronegative atom, and then this, right? If there's a bond cleavage between these two, then there will be a formation of carbocation and then carbanion along with electronegative atom, right? So in this way your carbocation and carbanion are formed, right? Now we'll see what are the other things, other intermediates that are formed or that are involved in our reactions. The most important things that are involved in our reactions are your nucleophiles. What are nucleophiles? What do you mean by nucleophiles? Nucleo itself means your nucleus, and phile here means loving. Why is this? Then what will be the charge of this? What will be the charge of your nucleus? Nucleus will be positively charged and electrons will be revolving around your nucleus, right? So this nucleus is positively charged. Once this positively charged is getting attracted by something else, itself means that it should be negatively charged. This should be negatively charged. So nucleophiles are negatively charged ions. What are the examples of your nucleophiles? What are the examples of your nucleophiles are your OH minus, Cl minus, your RO minus, and also your NH3, which is having lone pair of electrons. See, all these minus charges itself means there is and extra electrons are present on your ions. Extra electrons are present on your ions. So the extra electrons, your lone pair of electrons, are also said to be your nucleophiles only. The molecules which have lone pair of electrons on it are also said to be nucleophiles only, like your H2O. Oxygen here is having two electron lone pair of electrons, and your ROH, here oxygen is having two lone pair of electrons. So all these are your examples of your nucleophiles. Nucleophiles are nucleus loving. They are negatively charged ions. Because nucleus is positively charged, they tend to attract nucleus, so they are negatively charged. Positive and negative attracts. Just remember that. Now we'll see what are your electrophiles. What are your electrophiles? Electrophiles itself means that electron loving. Electro itself means that electron loving. Philes itself means that loving. Now as I said your electrons, all your electrons are negatively charged. Now these negatively charged electrons are being loved. Itself means that these electrophiles are positively charged. Positively charged ions. Positively charged ions. So what are the examples of your electrophiles? All these electrophiles are positively charged. Itself means that they are electron deficient. They are electron deficient. They are losing its electrons by giving its electron towards your negative ion, right? They are electron deficient ions. What are examples of electron deficient ions? That is your H plus ion, H3O plus, because it is linking up with one more hydrogen here, it is losing its lone pair of electrons here. So this hydronium ion will be H3O plus. Then your BF3. What is this BF3? This is not having a positive charge, but then boron is having a vacant orbital. Vacant orbital will be acting as a electrophile here because it is deficient of electrons here. So this will be acting as electrophile as well, right? ZnCl2, even here also your zinc will have a vacant orbital, and then the next one is your AlCl3. Even here aluminium will be having a vacant orbital, right? So these vacant orbitals also will act as your electrophiles. So all these are examples of your nucleophiles, electrophiles, and heterolytic fission will give you cation and anion, homolytic fission will give you free radicals. So this is for today, which is very important topic. And in our next video, we'll see about types of organic reactions and how are they involved. Please watch my video, share and subscribe to my video. Thank you.